Okay. Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Keep It 90, brought to you by the House of NNESAGA, supported by Spotify. We're in the building. I wasn't here last week, actually, and there was a lot of tension in the building.
Hey, I wasn't here either. Cut that shit with a knife.
There was a lot of tension.
Wait.
And the thing is, when you know Copes is vexed, he starts shaking his head up and down. He's like, no. Are you calm now, Copes?
I'm calm now. Wolf ain't here today.
Well, you said he was pushing your buttons.
He knows what he's doing, man.
I feel you.
Guys, he was just smirking in the corner. He knew what he was doing. When we came off the camera, he was like, yeah. He knows what to do.
That is so joke.
But it was good though,
Nah, it was good. Anita, what you been telling me?
I'm just tired.
Yeah? Why are you tired?
WrestleMania was last night.
Quality.
Stayed up till about 4 a.m.
Better than me.
I don't know how you didn't do it. I'm so
Listen,
sorry. I can't
Listen,
understand
after day
it.
one, and it was like 10 past 4, I was like, there's no way I can do this again.
No, but day two was always going to be the one, man. It was always going to be the one. Yeah.
I sacrificed Saturday.
The Rock, The Undertaker, John Cena,
Bro.
Seth Rollins coming out as a Shield, but they didn't come out. I didn't like that, though, but fair enough.
I might need to rewatch it.
No, you should. Like, I haven't watched wrestling for years. I haven't watched the other WrestleManias for like the last 5 years.
I ain't watched
But I'm back in.
WrestleMania since The Undertaker lost.
Yeah, same.
First time.
Same.
I didn't watch
So I'm locked back in now.
Locked in now, yeah?
Yeah. Because before I used to think it was, I don't know why this turned into a wrestling pod, but I don't know. Before I used to think it was like corny, which it does have that to it. But then when you take that away from it and just try and like lock into the stories and like just appreciate them as athletes, I think it makes it better.
That's it. And you know, it's just not, you can't take it too serious. That's the way I see it. It's just one of those things where it's just, you know, it's drama. It's no different to like
EastEnders.
Yeah, I was about to say a soap opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah, so it's just pretty much like that. You just got to take it for what it is. And yeah, man, the memories that just came back, like again, as you said on WrestleMania, The Rock. Oh my gosh,
Legend.
I was like, what?
And you know what's so funny? My last point on this. So the funniest thing about wrestling is that the fact that they're all trying to start swearing now. And they just think it's like such a whoa.
And they were like probably like trying to bleep it out.
Yeah,
Like,
we know what he's saying.
But apparently that's come back in since now this is really turned into a wrestling pod. But apparently it's because The Rock now he's now one of the board members.
Oh,
like,
really?
The overall like WWE, like he's one of the head
Doesn't
guys.
Triple H like run it now?
Yeah.
He's there as well. But recently Rock's come on board. So that's how he's now got his name back and all of that stuff. But since he's come back, that's when they've tried to bring back that old school feeling. So that's when we're seeing those kind of things. And apparently
Him
since
swearing
he's been coming
and
back,
behind the scenes.
they're trying to get that old school
No, I
feeling
love that.
back.
Love that.
Bring it back.
Yeah, no, lovely. Let us know if you want, wrestling segments and that we can do that because we're back locked in.
Locked in.
Anyway,
Instead of
let's get
talking
back
about
to the
Chelsea,
football. Let's get back to the football because there is breaking news again, and that is regarding Everton and their rule breaking of the PSR. They have been deducted 2 points, so it's not as bad as it could have been. I think overall they have been deducted. They were deducted 6 points and deducted 2 points, so 8 points altogether. They're still out of the relegation zone. And to be fair, if this is all that Everton are going to get from all of their rule breaking and then being out of the top, the relegation zone, I don't think it's that bad. I
still don't understand what they've done wrong.
Oh, no. They done wrong.
Yeah,
they done
rules are
wrong.
rules,
They
yeah.
admitted to it.
Yeah,
What
they
is
admit it.
They admitted to it.
Honestly, maybe it's because I don't like football politics, but I really just don't know what they have done.
They're spending money that they don't have, and then when you when you're not making enough profit and you're basically in arrears. In arrears, is that the right term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say you've broken the PSR rules, and the PSR rules came in recently, so all clubs had to show everything that they're doing in terms of their spending, how much I think they had to show how much they're projected to make and all of this stuff. And I think Everton were at a point where they just had to come clean because it was very obvious because of the fact that they are spending a lot on a new stadium. If they weren't spending on a new stadium, they would have been fine.
So they're spending money that they don't have or spending somebody else's money?
No, the money that they don't have. But a lot of clubs did that. Like, I think Spurs did that when they got their new stadium. I think Arsenal have done it as well. Like any team any team that does that, you kind of have to. But I think Everton, they spent a lot of money, then it just didn't make sense. And
And then that's modelled in with the previous charges, isn't it? So you just take all that account. Basically, their accounts are just in a hot mess, basically.
Yeah.
Somebody getting fired.
Well, we'll see. I suppose we'll have to wait until the Cities and them guys, because they're waiting. I think that's all it is now, isn't it? It's a waiting game. At the end of the day, they've been charged, so we've now got the benchmark, I guess.
What with City?
Well, no, with Everton, I guess.
Oh,
as far as
Everton,
just
yeah.
like if you look at the league now, because they've got 6 points for the previous ones, they've now got 2 this time round. You've now got your sort of bench. Forest got 4 points the couple weeks back, so you've now got your benchmarkers. So now it's going to be, I think, Everton are going to be watching carefully now for the next few clubs.
I don't think so though, because recently the Premier League, well, not it didn't come out, but there's been reports that they are looking to remove the points deduction and introduce an NBA style luxury tax
I
due
saw
to
that.
concerns
Yeah.
that top players might leave if their pay is restricted. The luxury tax would penalise clubs financially for overspending, with the penalty increasing based on their spending. Clubs, in theory, could still choose to spend freely if they prefer, but with knowledge of taking another financial hit. The tax could then be distributed to the other Premier League clubs who stayed within the rules. That would be interesting.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either.
Because as you said, it's NBA style, and they've been using that for ages. So all the bigger markets, they've been able to get away with, like your Steph Curry's and all them boys, Golden State, they can get away with all that high turnover, but yeah, it goes back to league. I'm not mad at that, but even still, if I'm Everton again, you're not about to put that in. Meanwhile,
Just taking a hit.
yeah, I've taken the hit, and meanwhile, you're going to tell me by next year, I don't know, Newcastle, Chelsea, City, whoever's near close to that FFP marker, all of a sudden they're just going to pay a luxury tax. That I don't know.
But I think it'll be better for the greater good, though, just for football, because really and truly, like, as much as it will be like, oh, City have got 115 charges, I wonder how many points they'll get deducted, and Chelsea or whoever it is, but that's dead. Like, let's be honest. Like, when you're looking at the Newcastles, for example, who are one of the richest owners in the world, and they're talking about selling Isak and selling their best players,
Crazy.
it's stupid. Do you know what I mean?
They've literally just come into a bit of money, last 2 years?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got, it just can't happen. So no, I agree with you. It's a smart style, but I just wonder if you're in Everton, you will sit there burning like in the corner, like, okay, this is how you lot done us.
Yeah.
But, I guess it is, as you said, it's for the greater good. But yeah, I think it just shows at the end of the day, FFP generally needs to be sorted out. So whether or not they do the luxury tax style, or I saw what was I watching? Fan Debate, that was it. Gary Neville's show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the whole, you take I think it was the profit or the revenue from like the top club, so it'd be like a United, and then everyone's allowed to use that same sort of benchmark, but then you just have to prove funds. I just feel like
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense, because it allows the football, like the Premier League, to be exciting. Like when you see, think about Premier League back in the day, all of the players that used to play for Blackburn, Newcastle, flipping, like the Swanseas, like you're looking at like top players that were able to go to these clubs. Yeah, they might get a move, but now we're talking about if West Ham, for example, aren't able to get into Europe again, they might have to sell the Paquetas and Bowens, and that's dead. I want it to be more competitive, and I think with FFP, the only people that are like really secure are the teams that have been big for the last like 2 decades.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
they're the only ones not worrying about it, even though they are saying Arsenal were on the cusp last year.
Oh, what, really?
Apparently, yeah. That's why apparently we needed to do the Raya deal as a loan deal with the
Got you.
Yeah, because apparently we were on the cusp as well.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, even this season, we've got an example of what you've been saying. Like when you think we've had Diaby, Bailey, all these guys going to Villa, Kudos, Alvarez, Paqueta, West Ham. We're starting to see all the lower
shared out.
Yeah, exactly. All these top players going to all. It's making the league a little bit more exciting. So I agree with you. They need to figure it out, because we just can't have all the top players and the top teams. It's like, what's the point? Yeah,
and it'll make football very boring. But if you're Everton fan, let us know what you think on socials. Let's move on to the title race, because it is heating up, man. It is Arsenal 71 points, Liverpool 71 points, City 70 points. Arsenal top by a goal difference, and they probably are the winners of this weekend, to be fair. They beat Brighton comfortably. I think there were stages in the game that it looked like it could be a bit shaky, but I feel like you scored at the right time
100%.
every time.
Yeah.
And your defense is just looking crazy. Definitely. I think I saw a stat that Raya had to make the most saves that he has made this year, and I think he made 2 saves.
It just tells you, listen, for all you teams out there, your winter breaks, go to Dubai. That's all it
Even Saka said that as well.
Yeah, go to Dubai because we've just been on a roll. 11 games unbeaten. Again, best defense in the league. It's just
Conceded 4 goals, I think it is. I think we scored
yes.
over 30, or I saw something like 38 goals or something along those lines.
It's been amazing to watch. And again, just showing again the. You okay, Anita?
I'm just so tired of Arsenal fans.
Oh
Nah,
my!
he's not even doing nothing,
I'm not
man.
even
Let's just talk,
Even
man.
when I'm not taking
Let's
digs.
just talk.
and
Yeah, man. Hey, keep
wow.
going, man. Keep going.
Sorry,
Keep going.
keep
Keep going.
going.
Keep going.
I think my train of thought is gone because
Smiling
just
so
looking at it.
much. Why
I
are you
just turned
so
at Anita. I was like,
happy?
"Right,
Of course, he's gonna be
Why are you so
happy.
Why can I not be? My team's top of the league right now.
Just
We're in the
like it when men
race.
smile like this. Why are you smiling like that?
We're in the race right now.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said, the team's looking good overall. I mean, we're seeing again the different styles of play, like we saw against City, a more defensive masterclass. And I didn't even realize until after the game, that was the first time City haven't scored at home in like 50
A long
games?
time,
Yeah, like
yeah,
50
long
plus
time.
home games. And then for that to go back to how we play the following game at Brighton, I'm just loving these changes that we weren't quite seeing last year, which was just one style, gun ho, and then whether or not you want to say injuries. The point is we bottled it last season, but we're seeing a different style this year, which is it's working and it's keeping us in the race. So.
And I also like the fact that he's trusting more of his squad. So last year you relied a lot on Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus not being injured. Your defense, Saliba. I think your defense is probably the biggest reason why you're still in this
100%.
conversation.
100%.
But at the same time, I think if there was to be a huge injury, I still think that the setup now is just so much more solid with Declan Rice that is just always going to be there. Gabriel that rarely gets injured. Even if Saliba was
That's
to
who
be out
needs
like
to get
last season.
injured.
Who, Gabriel?
Whoa. What is this bad
No,
vibes
wait,
over
wait,
here?
Wait,
I'm,
why?
I'm not saying I want him to get injured, but if Arsenal were to capitulate in some way, the injury would need to be with Gabriel.
Do you think he's an unsung hero?
By a country mile.
Mm.
What he does for Arsenal's back line, we were talking about it yesterday at Gold Diggers, yeah. People are saying it's pretty privileged for Saliba. Just because Saliba's got that pretty face, everyone's always like, oh, Saliba this, Saliba that. Really and truly, Gabriel's doing all the nitty gritty in that back line. Get him out of here. I'm not saying I want him out of here.
Yeah.
But get him injured.
I hear what you're saying. But on the other side, I think that, I hear what you're saying because I said that as well. I think Gabriel is probably the most improved player that we've seen in the last few years. But I think that that's mainly because of Saliba. I think Saliba brings a calm to him that allows his best attributes to be at the forefront constantly. Like before, there was consistency issues. Like sometimes he would have just a rash game where he just gives away a pen or he does one challenge where it's just a bit mad. Now we're seeing him week in, week out. He's dealing with the toughest striker because the toughest striker don't even want to be near Saliba.
No.
They don't want to be near him. So they're on to Gabriel. So it makes him look a bit better, which I understand. But obviously, as an Arsenal fan, you kind of relate with what I'm saying. Saliba, I think Saliba's just he's the Rolls Royce, calming presence. But Gabriel is the brute that he doesn't mind getting ugly with it.
100%, and he doesn't mind getting into the face of people as well. As you said, that's just his personality. I guess you said Saliba, cool, calm, but got up your pace to him. You're not really going to get past him, but if you do get past him, that's where, as you said, Gabriel's the enforcer. He's the guy that's doing a lot of the running, and I think that's also wasn't if you take last year how we basically bottled it. Part of it was also because you lose that calmness in Saliba, and then Gabriel, who does a lot of that running and leg work, it was just too much for him to end up doing. He literally could not keep. Sorry, Holding. I mean, you are an Arsenal man, but he just wasn't the same quality, was it? And then again, Gabriel get caught out in different positions, but it's you're now trying to work the gap which Zinchenko was leaving, now the gap which Holding couldn't sort of mask for Saliba, and it just ends up being a lot. But I think with them both being fit, it's just, to me, it's the best duo centre back partnership in the league, even for the last 2 years,
arguably in the world.
And I think again, we lost it, and that's why these bad vibes over here saying about Gabriel needs to get injured. We saw it last year. The moment Saliba got injured last year, that was it. We were conceding 2-2 here, and then again
hasn't Saliba been injured this season already?
I don't think so.
Games? I'm sure he was out for a couple of games.
I feel like Gabriel missed a few games at the start of the season.
Well, I don't know why Arteta did this, but Arteta had him on the bench for a couple of games at the beginning of the season, and that just wasn't working. He ended up having Saliba, White, and then he had Partey at right back. And then even us fans were like,
What are you doing?
Yeah, like if it wasn't broke, don't fix it. Put him back.
Yeah.
And then since then, I don't think either one of them have been
I don't think.
injured.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
If
I
not,
don't
maybe
I
think
feel
they
like I remember a spell without Saliba, but maybe I'm thinking about last season.
it might be Gabriel. It might have been
Was it?
Gabriel. For me, it might have been
Let me
Gabriel maybe
Google.
for 1 or 2. I don't think Saliba.
I'm gonna Google.
But either way, best defense in the league. I think that's what's keeping us in it. It is that defense.
No, it's been solid to be fair, and I think when you look at the other results from, like, we'll go into the other teams and then we'll talk about the actual race for the title. So, Liverpool, Manchester United, yeah, that was a game
Yeah.
that I feel like the neutral. I feel Liverpool fans were really confident going into that game, yeah. But as
Do you
neutrals,
reckon?
yeah, 100%.
I don't think they were confident.
No, I think they were just because of the fact that United have been so bad these last 2 weeks. Even their last 3 games before playing Liverpool, they conceded leads in the last 3 minutes. And they've been conceding shots on shots on shots. So you know you're always gonna get an opportunity there, yeah. But I think where Liverpool kind of went wrong with it, from my perspective, they try it felt like they were trying to rush the win in a sense. Like when they were 1-0 up, I thought that they were just gonna go and be calm with it and just keep getting at them. But there were some mistakes that they were making yesterday. Not even just the goals, but like certain errors that players were just forcing it. And I was like, do you know who you're playing? You're actually playing United. You will get a chance regardless. Do you know what I mean?
All right, yeah.
And I think from when they started conceding and then the Old Trafford atmosphere, it was just long. I think I knew that they weren't going to get a result because of just how Liverpool have been against United this season. They haven't beat them this season.
Have they not?
Nah.
What was the first game?
It was a draw.
Oh, was it?
It was 1-1 draw, and then they lost in the FA Cup,
Yeah, of course.
and then they drew again.
Oh, wow.
The only reason why I didn't think Liverpool's going to get result is because back-to-back losses, I don't think Man United would have got that. Back-to-back losses from Chelsea, then a couple of days later, losing again to Liverpool. I just couldn't see that coming. But with the way Liverpool played, Liverpool should have won that at least 3.
In the first half, at least.
At least.
In the first half, definitely.
They should have buried all their chances, and it could have been an ugly repeat of the 7-0.
Yeah.
But they didn't take their chances, and that's just it.
Yeah.
And that's why the Prem's one of the best leagues in the world. Because if you don't take them chances, boy, it can come back to come back to bite you. And that's literally what it did for them.
Yeah, there's a few things from that game. So from a Liverpool perspective, I think Darwin Núñez and Salah, we need to have a conversation about them two. Because Darwin Núñez, I think he's a great player and I think he's got a lot of potential. But when the lights are shining bright,
I think Darwin Núñez is a crackhead. No, the good type.
Oh, okay. There's a good. Okay.
Like he's everywhere all at once. But when it comes to that end product, it's like you're not using your brain correctly. But you know you've got it in you there. But there's just something that's not clicking.
He's an instinctive striker.
Yeah.
So there was a few opportunities. Remember that opportunity that Diaz played across? He could have slotted it back to, I think it was Szoboszlai that was coming in, or Diaz that was coming in. And he tried to shoot and it just went straight back across with his left foot. But it was like when you watch it back, I'll show you after. It was so
cut it back.
Yeah. It was such a bad decision that I was thinking like, I know you're not bagging today, and I've got him in my FPL.
Yeah, it's one of them ones.
Really? Well, hold on. You've got him in your FPL?
Yeah, he's been bagging. He's been bagging recently.
He actually. I put Kai Havertz in my FPL lately and get me points. But back to Núñez.
Okay.
In that situation, there's 2 parts to it. One, I don't blame him for taking a shot, purely because he's a striker, right?
Yeah.
You want your strikers to take them shots. Yeah?
Nah.
But then, on the other hand, it was on to just cut it back. It was on. He didn't look around him. He didn't look left. He didn't look right. He didn't see him running through the middle. Hey, but I won't put it down. I won't put Liverpool's L's down to that mistake.
What will you put it down to?
The fact that in the first half of that game, they refused to bury their chances.
But it's on them though.
Refused.
It's on.
I don't think Núñez, it wasn't the issue. I think Salah was the issue.
Why?
Because he failed to bury. Do you see them 2 chances he had near post?
Yeah.
Normal Salah is burying that easily, but then he didn't bury it and take his chances. So that's what I'm putting it down to.
They're setting up with Salah.
Núñez is always the scapegoat, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
all of
but
them.
I think because Salah's always bagging. But I
Yeah.
think I've been watching Salah very closely recently, and obviously he's a great player, Liverpool
He's getting
legend, Premier League
old.
legend.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say
He's
it.
old
But not even
now.
just getting old. There's even on the ball. It's just not clicking. He's not having the impact that I even think Klopp would want from him in this running. Like he scored the penalty, he scored the last game when McAllister was man of the match from that beautiful pass from McAllister.
Mm.
But what I see from McAllister and what I see from Harvey Elliott is what I'd expect from Salah. Like you're taking the game by the scruff of the neck and saying, "We need to win this game. I'm gonna win this game." Like, and I'm saying that from a perspective of seeing him in multiple positions that he can impact the game, and his decision making has just been off.
He's old.
No, I'm not having that. I'm
I'm
not
so
having that.
sorry.
That's not an excuse.
It is. It is.
It's literally not. He's
I
not that
think-
old.
I think he's slower. He's gotten less intelligent, and he's just not bagging the way that he used to.
No, but
And
he's not that old. That's a cop out.
He's like 32, 33 now.
That's not that old. So is KDB.
Come on, bro. Like everyone ages. Back in the day, like when you're 32, 33, you're moving towards like the end of your career.
was gonna take a
Just
dig, but
because
I'm not gonna do
Ronaldo's doing it, just because Messi's doing it, Messi's even doing it in freaking America. Like you're at an age where you're slowing down, and when you can't pick up the pieces of everybody else around you, of course you're gonna look for
And
Gazy.
do you think there could be an element also of just general fatigue? Because I guess fatigue's been a question of that Liverpool squad for the last couple of years anyway. Because obviously the way they've been competing with City has been undeniable. It's just been ridiculous, especially with I guess a smaller squad. And do you think maybe it's just again you take age as a factor? It could just also just be maybe he just doesn't quite
Maybe
have.
he's tired.
I think it's just. I think it's the injury around Afcon mainly, like him not
You think
recovering
that's
well.
still affecting him?
I think him not recovering well because he still looks up for it. Like when he gets into his positions where it's instinctive striking, he's having an impact. He's scoring goals. He's scoring the penalties. He's still being that guy to a certain extent. But I'm saying when he's getting into certain positions, especially against United, the decision making has just been off. And I don't put that down to age because he's been playing at the top of his game for years. And we're talking about one of the best players to ever grace the Premier League when it comes down to crunch time. City, you can say the same thing for KDB. You can say the same thing for all of these men that have been in the Prem for years. It's not, but you need those players.
But everybody has their time where they slow down a little bit.
Yeah, but it's an
I feel
excuse
like he's
for a
slowing
player
down.
that should. You just got you got a new contract. Your manager's leaving at the end of the season. You're in a tight title race. You got to be performing. There's no excuses.
Do you think he's got maybe the 300k curse?
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. But when did he sign his new contract?
Started this season, no?
Nah.
Or last season.
Was it last season? I
Might
can't
be
remember
last
when it
season.
was.
It must have been last season. Because I thought it was a goner for Real Madrid. I thought it was gone.
Well, I thought it was getting Saudi because when they put in that bid,
Oh, that must have been this season then.
Nah, it was when it was
Summer.
the Europa League. It was the season that they qualified for the Europa League. I think he signed a new contract. I can't remember. But he signed it fairly recently.
Yeah.
So from that, I just expect more. But I still think that there's still a lot more games to go. But let's move on to City anyway because they walked.
No, they may have walked. Who did they play? Palace.
Palace.
Yeah.
They may have done that, yeah. But I'm still not convinced that they want this title. You know.
I just think they're worse as a team.
They are. I'm nothing is convinced. Like, do you know, everyone always said, yeah, at the start of the season, like, oh, don't worry, City will pick up, City will pick up, City will pick up, yeah. And I've just always thought like there's just something so off about this team as a collective that I cannot picture them lifting that title. And if they do, it will kind of be an injustice to what they actually are about.
Is it a collective though? Because if we look at the team, I think the biggest difference from what I've seen from last season is the way they defend. I think going forward, they've been fine. Like KDB is still scoring goals. Foden is
I
on
don't
form.
think so.
Haaland is scoring goals.
Haaland's not on form. He hasn't
No.
been on form for months.
No, but they're still scoring goals. They're just conceding way more. Like they're conceding way more goals from mistakes, from being sliced open. Like it's not something that we're used to seeing from City.
Even at that, yeah, City they may be scoring goals, and obviously they're getting sliced up a little bit more. Fine, but one thing we've always seen with City, they always have an answer for something. So like, let's look at like the jammy draws with Arsenal, with Chelsea, Liverpool. Did they draw with Liverpool? I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
They
They
drew
did,
with
yeah.
Liverpool. Look at those draws there, yeah. Last season, City, they would find a way out of that, right? This season, they are struggling to find ways out of different problems that they're having on the pitch. And it's not giving they want this like they used to. Do you get? Like before, they used to have like a Gundogan to get them out of a situation. They used to have a David Silva to get them out, Bernardo Silva that will get them out of situations. Like obviously, they've still got Kevin De Bruyne, best player in the league in my opinion, best player in the league, and he's delivering now. He scored. How many did he score against Crystal Palace?
2.
Scored 2 goals against Crystal Palace. Fine, but everywhere else, yeah. Obviously, you've got Foden, who is developing really well as a young player as well, carrying this team as well.
Big time.
Everywhere else, I'm looking at Doku. Doku's falling off. Grealish has come back into the fold. He's playing really well, but he's still not the answer to unlocking new things to make City start ticking again. Haaland has dropped off significantly to the point where last season I would never take that man off as captain. This season I've taken him off as my captain because I can't picture him delivering no more. Julian Alvarez would usually come on and be the guy to just make be another answer to Pep's problems. He's no longer an answer to Pep's problems. I'm just looking at it like, even though they have the easiest running, I still don't see them lifting this title.
Could you also put it to, so where you mentioned a lot of those games you said they drew, then they normally would have found a way. Could you also put it to the teams around them are also getting better and getting smarter?
They drew twice with Chelsea.
Yeah, but that's still Chelsea. Yeah, but that's still Chelsea. Listen, I know you guys are in a run of form, but that's still Chelsea at the end of the day, right?
Nah,
so you look at Arsenal. You look at the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
At the Etihad, we basically sat back a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like we knew what they were gonna do. And when you think again, even you take last year, Gabriel and Saliba had the likes of Haaland in their back pocket. Like teams are getting a bit stronger. Where what maybe City could get away with so freely the last couple of years, maybe teams are just it happens. You're just picking up on things like even to what the whole bringing in the inverted person in to bring an extra midfield player. You've got the likes of Liverpool. We're doing that now as well. So we're cancelling things out, which maybe you could always find that one over on teams per se. You know what I mean?
I feel like the last time that happened where people were figuring out City, Liverpool won the league. Do you know what I mean? Like Pep couldn't find an answer to what was going on. Liverpool won the league. Then Pep brought in reinforcements. There might just need to be a little bit of a shake-up within the team. Because creatively, like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I'm just missing that spark for them. That's all. Because you're not the first team that sat back against them.
Yeah.
Teams always sit back. Well, majority of teams always sit back against City. And City find a way. The normal City, they will find a way. Especially if they're on a title run. They'll find a way.
Yeah, I just think I just think teams have started to get, as we were just speaking about before, even the slightly lower teams, the teams are getting better around them, and just because of that, I just think it's making it that a bit more difficult. And then also, again, not being funny, I mean, we thought it was going to happen last year. This is going to be, if they win, it's 4 in a row, and they mentioned even last year where maybe it could be taxing. Are these players actually going to get the treble after winning 2, 3 premiers prior to that? It's a lot.
How do you keep them motivated?
And this is it. It's a lot for any player to be like, oh, we've got to do this again.
No, but they are motivated still. Have you watched the City documentary?
The one that, Netflix?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Need to watch it.
But you know what? There's a thin line between being motivated and being motivated but with complacency. So obviously you've won everything that there is to win. As a City player, you've won the Champions League, you've won the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. They've won it numerous times. And how does Pep keep them going, saying we need to do this every single year when you've already done it?
Freshens it up though.
True.
That's why I think like Gvardiol coming in, Doku coming in, Haaland just his second season. Like he's not a person that's gonna just want to win one treble and then that's gonna be his legacy. Like he wants more. And I think when you watch that doc, you will understand that they are actually like, it's actually mad how Pep is able to just reinvigorate his side every single season and learn from his mistakes and like learn how to adapt to his players and stuff. And I think like I hear what you're saying about going forward, but I don't think City have ever had an issue with goal scoring. I just think that they just look vulnerable at the back, and I think that can affect a team. Maybe it affects them going forward because their fullbacks are Gvardiol, who's not a natural left back.
No.
Walker, who's been in and out of injury. Rico Lewis can slot in, but he's more of an inverted fullback, so you have to change it up a little bit more. Then you look at Diaz, has been in and out of the team. He's good, but he's not been the Diaz that we know. John Stones in and out of the team. I think it's their back line that has been suffering the most. Even the goal, the Liverpool game, I think it was when. Oh no, was it Arsenal or Liverpool when Edison took out a player, and they conceded a pen.
Yeah, it must be Liverpool.
I think it was
Yeah, 'cause
Liverpool.
I don't remember
It
that.
must have
Yeah,
been
no, it wasn't
Liverpool.
Arsenal. No.
But like even that type of mistake, like there's a lot of mistakes that's happening, bro. It almost happened against Palace when Rodri played the ball back to Ortega, and then he had to flip and get a Cruyff turn and then put it out the other way. But they go.
That was
But
brilliant,
that was
bit of skill.
cold.
Yeah,
That
It was
yeah.
brilliant,
I
but
was
they-
there as well. I was there as well.
Did you watch that?
I was
live
there. I was
bird?
like,
That's
hey.
cold.
Yeah,
I was like,
but it's quality.
cold.
It's
Yeah.
quality. But that's what I'm saying. Like they're a bit shaky. They're a bit shaky. So I think now, if they're able to maybe get over that hump, it's going to be interesting to see them against Real Madrid and see what happens
Yeah,
there.
true.
But when I look at the title race now, you can't say Arsenal aren't favourites because they are the most complete team up until this point. In 2024,
Fight back. I dare you.
You know, it is.
Fight
I want to agree,
back.
but at the same time, you know, it is. As an
How
Arsenal
can you-
fan, I
no,
don't-
but how can you not agree?
no, I'm with you. But you know, it's just as an Arsenal fan, I'm just trying to keep the
Nah, just
humbleness
be
stick.
honest. Just be-
I'm trying to keep the humbleness stick. I
no,
don't
but
want.
if you're being honest,
Yeah.
there's not been a better team in the Premier League
No.
than Arsenal.
100%.
Like they defensively secure.
Yeah.
They're scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
They've barely got any injuries.
Yeah.
I think today, funny enough, I saw a tweet actually. Apparently, we've got the entire team who was training today. Because obviously, we've got the likes of Timber and those that have been injured for the whole season. Apparently, this was, I think, the first time the entire team was trained today.
That's crazy.
So we've actually got a fully fit team now.
No excuses.
We'll see.
No, there is no excuses.
excuses.
We've
If
still
we're
got the
being
hardest
honest,
run. We've still got the hardest run.
There's
out
no
you
the
last
last
have,
7
you
years.
have. But when you look at all the runs, yeah,
Best team.
I'm looking at Liverpool. I'm looking at Liverpool and City, and I'm saying
Yeah.
they can drop points
100%.
in any of their
Oh,
games.
Best team
What's
in the
the?
league.
I don't even have the run up.
Don't worry. Let me see if I can find it for you. Who are you looking for, sweetheart?
No, I just want to see what the last sort of games are for everyone. I know that we've still got what
You got United, Spurs, and
Uniteds.
Chelsea.
Oh yeah, forgot Chelsea. Do we have Villa? No, I think we don't have Villa.
You
Man
have Villa. I think
City.
Villa's your
we've
next
got
game.
Yeah, Villa's the next game. Yeah, so we've still got quite a few big teams left.
Man City, they have obviously Real Madrid twice. They got Luton at home. They've still got to play Tottenham. Going to Tottenham for Man City is never,
that's their bogey team.
ever an easy ride. They got Nottingham Forest away, Brighton away, Wolves at home, Fulham away. Fulham away is a difficult one.
Who's that?
And-
City.
yeah.
Okay.
And West Ham at home on the last day. I think it's gonna go all the way down to the last day, man.
I want it to, because I want to see if
need it
I want to
to.
see if Arsenal can do it. I want to see because last season, around before the last 10 games, I officially switched and I was like, Arsenal gonna win it because I thought that you was gonna
Same.
win it.
Same.
And then the Southampton game I think happened, or maybe the game before that, and I was like, okay, maybe you lot aren't made out for that. And even up until that point, I was still saying Arsenal gonna win it. But now I'm looking at this Arsenal squad,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, and it's
Come on, boys.
it's exciting for an Arsenal fan, and I feel like majority of people now are probably having Arsenal as their favourites.
Listen, I can't argue in it. I'm not.
So
I can't argue.
angry.
I don't want to argue
Livid.
because I
Slag,
won't.
man.
Listen, I want to be
Slag.
coming in here in 7 weeks' time and being like, we are champions. So
I
I'm not
won't
gonna.
be here.
Yeah, you'll be here.
On my life, I won't be here.
Hey, don't worry. I'll go gold diggers then. Don't worry.
Ah!
Hey, I'll make
He
a
said, "I'm
comment.
gonna find you." I will not
What are you
be
saying
here.
for the Champions League? Do you feel like you've got what it takes to get past Bayern?
Yeah, I mean, my position still stands on that. Even more so where they are just capitulating in that league. Like they are heads down. Like I think they lost. Was it 3-1 this weekend? They're now
3-2.
Sorry, 3-2. That was it. Yeah, 3-2. They're now 16 points down. I mean, we can beat them. I'm not being funny. Like there's nothing there for me to feel like we can't go in there and snatch a result.
You can beat
Obviously-
them at home.
Say again.
You can beat them at home.
Yeah, we should be able to beat them. I mean, even away. I mean, at the end of the day, Allianz Arena is still a force to be reckoned with. But I just think generally the way they're playing this season, there's nothing for me to be scared of. Like we can't go in there and snatch the result and then go face Real Madrid or City in the semis. Like unless I've missed something with Bayern, but I just think they're completely off here. I don't know what it is with Tuchel. He just doesn't have those guys ticking the way they need to be. I mean, obviously Harry Kane is still scoring, but we know that's what he does. That's his bread and butter. But I just think top to bottom again. If I just look at their squad versus our squad, I just think if anything they should
Bayern
fear
have a
us more than the other.
100%.
Bayern have a full team now, though.
Yeah,
They
but
had
even
injuries.
that,
Coman
their
and Sane,
defense
they're back.
is just their defense
Yeah,
is
shocking.
genuinely not good enough.
Upamecano's gonna start, ain't he?
Upamecano, Dyer,
Yeah.
Delict.
Yeah.
I think the only secure centre back that I know is Kim, and I don't know if he's
And
fully back.
But
he doesn't play as well,
the
does
thing
he?
is,
That's been the rumor as well. He's not really been
Really?
playing. Yeah, it's been dire over Kim and Jay,
even
which has been
Delict,
Crazy.
Delict doesn't really get a sniff in as well. And
No.
he's put his best defenders on the bench.
Yeah, because they're not good enough.
Thomas!
They're not good enough, and he wouldn't do that if they were good enough.
No, he would. Come on.
When would he? When
Delict
would
and
he?
Kim and Jay benched.
Delict is not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, even at Juve.
Oh, come
He's
on,
not.
You know what?
guys, don't feed into this.
I'm
It's
not
not a
gonna feed
feed
into it,
into
but
it.
I'm
He's
just
not.
really
He's
not.
not
No,
been
but you know
good.
what it
He's
is,
not been good
since
since
Ajax.
Ajax.
Than
Yeah, exactly.
Upamecano.
He's
I'm
not
with
been
you.
good since Ajax.
Yeah.
Factually,
Okay.
like
But he's not a better option than Upamecano.
I
Are
don't
we
know.
for real?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Upamecano, he's got his
That
stinkers, but
man.
Delict is just not good enough. Like actually, not good enough. Like, and I used to like him a
I'm
lot.
saying-
I wanted him at Chelsea at a point.
I was shocked he got the
And-
Bayern move, if I'm honest, off the back of Juve.
Yeah,
But
because
in
he was.
hindsight, it was a better move for him coming down to go to Chelsea.
Yeah,
in
100
hindsight.
Yeah.
100%,
Oh, yeah,
because he would have stunk it up at Chelsea as well. And talking of Chelsea, we might as well go into it straight away. Actually, let's
We're not
let's
done
wait.
with the
Let's
Champions
let's
League
wait with
yet.
Chelsea. Let's wait with Chelsea because there's no point. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about the rest of the Champions League fixtures.
Yes.
City, Real Madrid.
Wait, can I ask, who would you rather have in the semi-final if you do?
City or Real Madrid? City, I think.
Why?
Just because it's a more familiar team to Arsenal, and when I just think the last 2 years, and even more so this year, again we've beaten them and we've drawn against them. So again, what's to say we can't do that in the Champions League? It's essentially a Prem game with, I guess, more spotlights on it per se. It's just more familiar territory. Whereas Real Madrid, I'm not sure what I'm getting with Real Madrid. It's one of them ones where, as you like to point out, it could be you go to the Bernabeu and the awe of being in this classic arena could be.
So dumb. As you like to point out, fuck you.
could get to us. You know what I mean? Like and I haven't really. I must admit, I've also not fully paid attention to Real Madrid this season outside of Jude Bellingham just having a masterclass over there in Spain. So again, just for what Arsenal are familiar with, I just think it's City really. So I'll take them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject.
No,
Jay.
that's fair. That's fair. Do you think City are gonna beat Real?
No. I think Real Madrid's taking it this time.
You think?
I've already told you guys how I feel about City right now. I feel like they are lacking a spark, and I think that's translating into the Champions League. This is their first real test, pun intended. But this is their first real test. So I think I know Real Madrid's going to that semi-final.
Oh, okay.
Real Madrid's, I promise you, Real Madrid's doing it.
That's interesting.
Promise you.
What do you think?
I don't know. I was convinced City would go through, but Real have enough to beat them.
Yeah.
And defensively, they have enough. But at the same time, City are, in the Champions League especially, they are just ruthless.
But
And they have been for the last few years.
But then thinking about like Real Madrid's defense and then versus City's defense, you look at the firepower. Who's firing more? Real Madrid's firing left, right, and centre. They're gonna fire against City's defense.
They ain't been. They haven't had to deal with any team like City. They haven't had to deal with Haaland, Foden, Bernardo Silva. Like they haven't had to deal with any of these man.
And to be honest with you, if I look at defense,
And they struggled against who was the team that they got through, that they beat to get into the semis.
They had bare people out there.
Who's that?
Oh, Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Yeah, they struggled. And
They had
if
people out.
I look at their squad last season, I think their squad last season is probably better than this season. Yeah, in terms of the whole squad. Yes, Jude is scoring and all of this stuff, but they had Benzema. They just seemed a bit more like settled. Now, outside of Jude, I know Rodrigo's having a great season. Vinny's just Vinny regardless, but I don't know. It's gonna be It's gonna be tough, man. I think it's gonna be tough for
They played Leipzig.
Leipzig. The
Okay.
second leg against Leipzig was poor from Real. Like they got lucky, and Jude even said it after the game. And was just like it was tight, but sometimes you have to win those type of
City
games.
might nick it,
I don't know.
I know you're confident, but I just
I
also
think they're just a better football team.
and I'm just thinking about just like if I think of each team's back line, I don't know why I'm just thinking of defender. I just think City have got a way more better back
But
line
who
than
would City's back line be on that day?
take your pick. I mean, I guess it would be Ruben Diaz, Stones, Ake if he's fit, and then you have Kyle Walker on the right.
Let's see.
Whereas Real Madrid's would be what? Rudiger,
Bad boy.
Was it Alaba as a centre back?
Alaba's out injured. I think
Nacho.
it might be
Nacho.
Nacho or Militao, who came back recently.
Oh, was it? But even
Or
Militao, if I'm
Mendy,
Real Madrid, I
Carvajal.
wouldn't put Militao 'cause he just came back from a knee injury, so you wouldn't put him in the City game. So it's going to be
Have to be
Nacho.
Nacho.
So Nacho in Rudiger, Mendy or Fran Garcia, and Older Carvajal. I'm not being funny. If I had to, City might be able to take that back line and you know.
They dealt with them last season.
Yeah.
Boy. Like
But-
dealt with them.
That was
So
last season.
yeah.
But what's crazy is though, this now 3 years in a row they've actually had to face each other in the knockouts
Yeah.
because
Yeah, man.
Real Madrid took him out. What was it?
It's
2 years
cinema.
ago? Yeah.
Cinema.
So
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And
experience.
it's what Barca versus PSG.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Barca
Do you know what?
PSG.
Every time I think about that fixture, I never forget there were 4-0 or 4-1,
Oh, the
up.
comeback.
and they came back.
Yeah.
I will never ever forget that fixture.
I don't know who I think's gonna win. I think PSG can win it
PSG for me.
Yeah, I'll go PSG.
because they've got the same level of experience, like in terms of players in the squad that
Yeah.
have been in this competition, this stage of competition.
But
And I'll just love Mbappe to get to the final
yeah,
and win it.
man.
I'd love Mbappe to get to the final and win it.
I feel like that's the difference, isn't it? They have Mbappe.
Yeah,
Who does Barcelona have that stands out close enough to Mbappe?
No one.
one.
no
So
one.
that's gonna be the difference.
Is
maker.
is it Pedri? Is he still out?
Still out.
Oh, okay.
So
The other fixture is Dortmund and who beat Inter?
I watched that game.
What
as
am I
well.
forgetting now?
Why's my brain-
Atletico Madrid.
yeah.
Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
Simeone's just gonna do
Yeah.
something.
Sorry, Jem. But
I
yeah, it's not.
really don't want Atletico Madrid to persevere. Like,
Why is that?
the football that they play, is illegal.
Mm.
It's illegal football, and I can't stand it. Like, I really can't stand it. I really don't want them to get through. I'd rather see Dortmund match up.
I don't know, man.
Dortmund
I don't really.
PSG.
That's like not a nothing fixture for me, but it's just like
What a Dortmund PSG.
no, just Dortmund, Atletico. Like I don't mind who gets through. Like they
Yeah.
both got their pros and cons. I think Atletico going
Atletico's
through
more
to the semi.
entertaining.
I think they'll be way more entertaining.
Mm.
And I think in the semi it will be a tougher fixture. I think Dortmund, if they get through, PSG will beat them. I think Barca will beat them.
Let's get Mbappe to the final, baby. Let's get him
Yeah,
to the final.
fair. I want
Get
Mbappe to win the champs.
final.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
nah,
Get him to
sorry.
win a chance
Sorry,
in his
Mbappe.
hometown.
Sorry, Mbappe. Try again
Come
next
on,
year, bro.
man.
No, I need
We
that.
don't want that this year. We want Arsenal. Come on.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no, please.
If you guys get to Wembley, oh my god, I think I'm gonna vomit.
That'd be hilarious.
I will
Hilarious.
vomit.
Yeah.
Why would we
It
hilarious?
would just be interesting. Like, imagine you're in the title race until the last game and you
Yeah.
make it to the Champions League final.
I feel like nobody, even if you don't win the Champions League,
Yeah.
but if you win the Premier League, no one can chat for you guys. Nobody. Not even me. I won't come back to the pod.
Now I'll chat for you because
Ah!
I'll
I
just
won't
chat
come
in
back
it.
to the pod.
hate.
Sorry, Steph.
It's
I
not
hate
even
I'm
hate.
coming
We'll
back.
just chat regardless. But
Yes.
let's talk about the teams that could potentially get into the Champions League spot. Spurs and Aston Villa.
Yep.
Aston Villa drew with Brentford. They were 2-0 up.
Mm.
Capitulated. Emery was not happy, and now they are joint points with Spurs, who won their game against Forest 3 or 4-1, 3-1 I think
Yeah.
it was.
3-1.
But Spurs have a game in hand. So who are we saying makes it through to the Champions League next season? Spurs or Aston Villa?
I don't know.
Sorry, apologies. I'm going Spurs.
Yes,
Really?
yes. Why is that?
Aston Villa's still in Europa, no?
Yeah.
They've still got who are they playing? Who are they? I know West Ham's out of Europa.
Yeah,
they're
they're
playing
out. Yeah,
Leverkusen.
they're
done.
out.
They're done. But who's West Ham Aston Villa playing?
Aston Villa are
I can't remember.
playing. Aston Villa are playing Lille.
I feel like they're gonna put
You said Liverpool.
Lille.
Lille.
Oh, Lille.
Oh, you're about to say, oh, that would be a blessing, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will tune in for that
Yeah,
on a Thursday
100%.
night. I'm a tune in, but yeah, I'm going for Aston Villa to, especially Emery, to try and go all the way for that Europa League title.
It's Europa Conference League.
Oh, they're in the Conference League.
Yeah.
To go all the way for the Conference League. So I personally believe that Aston Villa will put all their what's the word again? I'm
Eggs.
so tired.
Yeah.
All the eggs in that basket, and not necessarily forget about the Prem, but they'll drop off.
They'll prioritize the
They'll
Conference League.
prioritize Europe.
For the Conference League.
I
It's
think
Europe. Europe is Europe.
I,
And when's the last time Aston Villa won a European trophy?
I hear it. I just don't feel. Yeah, true.
yeah, I think
You
a
know what I
trophy is
mean?
way more important.
Yeah.
100%.
Way more important. Than
It is.
getting-
It is important. I just also don't think that they've just got enough to
To get
get
fourth.
past. Yeah, because
They
Spurs,
don't. The Spurs are not in anything.
they're not in anything.
True.
This is all they're fighting for, and they've got a game in hand.
Yeah, man.
And Spurs got tricky fixtures though as well. As much as we were talking about all the big teams going for the title,
Mm.
Spurs still got to deal with the big teams in order to get that Champions League spot as well. So
They
they've
do.
equally got a bad run in terms of them needing to get those
They got to
points.
play
off them.
all of them.
Mm.
They got to play Chelsea,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. Blood clot.
this is it. Like, it's a bad run for them, even with no
Blood
Conference League there.
clot.
That's pressure.
But doesn't Aston Villa have the same thing? Let's look at Aston Villa.
Yeah, Aston Villa are playing Arsenal, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool, Palace.
That's still tricky.
It's tricky, but it's not City,
Yeah, man.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
It's gonna go down to the wire as
yeah.
well.
That's gonna be a tight one.
I didn't know that Spurs have to
I
play
might give it
all
Villa.
of them.
I might think Villa might nick it. I mean, to be fair, I want Villa to nick it, but
Mm.
It will bode well for a story. Nick it and then obviously win the Conference League.
I don't know. I think I would want. Actually, I don't really care who gets it, but
you
I
don't want Spurs getting fourth, surely.
I don't really mind. I like Ange. I like Ange football.
Yeah,
I like.
but you hate
him.
Spurs.
Yeah, but not really.
Okay.
Not really. Like I don't. There's no like. They don't really do nothing for me. Do you know what I
hear it.
mean?
I hear
Like
it.
I don't really know that many Spurs fans. They're not. They
Just-
don't win anything.
Just for knowing Toby alone, I sing
Ah,
"We
yeah,
hate
yeah,
Tottenham"
yeah,
with
yeah,
my
yeah.
heart.
Yeah. I don't want him to
With
be.
my heart.
Forget it. I want Aston Villa.
There
on
you
that
go.
season.
There you go.
Yeah. I
There
can't
you
have Toby
go.
happy. Can't have Toby. We need to get Toby on the pod. Actually, that would be good.
Oh my! I feel
That'll be
like
good.
yeah, Copes and Shiz will go blow for blow with Toby.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
but
really?
he's good.
Blow
He's
for
good.
blow.
He backs his talk still.
Spurs through and through.
Spurs through and through.
through.
He goes to
and
away
through.
games, bro.
For what?
Away
Yeah.
games.
For what?
Sometimes
That's
he'll just
love
be in
still.
Brighton just because.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man.
It's love still.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we've come to the penultimate segment of the episode, and that is Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 2. I feel like we have to talk about Chelsea's last 3 games.
Go ahead.
Drew with Burnley 2-2,
Mhm.
then beat Manchester United 4-3
Yep.
with a brilliant hat trick from Cole Palmer, and then went on to draw with Sheffield United. Had an XG that was below 1. Had 6 shots in that game.
Ah!
Wasn't that the bridge?
No,
No.
Oh, thank God for that.
it was at Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at a point now where people don't know what to blame. Like Chelsea fans don't know what to blame.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you guys, who do you blame for where Chelsea are right now? Do you blame the players? Do you blame the manager? Do you blame a bit of both? Or how do you see it?
I mean, you guys, you guys are the Chelsea fans here.
Yeah,
so
but
I
I'm
mean,
asking you guys first. I want to know your opinion.
for me, it's hard to tell, man. I mean, I think it's a bit of both, if I'm honest. I mean, and the reason why I say a bit of both, I can't put it all on Poch because I've seen over the last 2 years, we've seen Potter, Lamps, and Pochettino. So we have seen 3 managers try to get some sort of a spark out of all of them. So I can't necessarily put it all down to them. The players, I mean, they're the guys on the pitch at the end of the day for me. That's where it sometimes comes down to. But then I just also think maybe if you look at the guys above, I can't remember if we've spoken about it before, but letting go a lot of them senior players early, man. That might have been what might have unraveled you guys a bit as far as getting you to this point where maybe some of them more senior guys you could have kept in and around that sort of have that top 4 mentality, that winners mentality might still have been useful even now. So, I mean, I must admit, take Jorginho. I sort of was like, why on earth have we brought Jorginho into the squad? But what I'm seeing him do right now for Arsenal, I'm thinking, you guys might have needed someone like that on the pitch to sort of command
leader.
and be a leader. Kovacic at City. They got Kovacic on the bench at City. Again, comes on, does the job, knows what he's doing. He's got that winning mentality and he knows what it takes to get something in the Prem. So when I just look at a few of these kind of pieces that, again, scattered around the Prem, again, a max exodus of all them sort of older players, and it's very much got just a new age Chelsea. I think it's more that above the players and the manager that I'm sort of looking at.
Okay,
as
you
far
put
as
more ownership on
yeah,
the
it's as far as the
owners.
direction. Like, did you need to get rid of so many of them so quickly? Would it have been worth you just keeping a few of them back?
Okay, but look at the circumstances that we're Chelsea are in now. Yeah,
Yeah,
what is it? 'Cause obviously the owners are the owners.
yeah, yeah.
Like they've done what they've done.
Yeah.
Like regardless. But I actually want to know, like, do you feel like this squad is the ninth best squad in the league?
I guess
On paper.
on paper it should be higher.
Okay, so Anita, that's fair. So Anita, what do you think? Do you think it's the players or Poch?
I'm tired, Sam.
Yeah, I know. You probably
So
spoke a lot about it
tired.
yesterday, but we
I'm
need to hear your
so
opinion.
tired. I'm so tired. I'm actually so close to tears that I'm actually tired. I don't know. Real rap, like you're right. Chelsea fans, we don't know who to blame. I don't know. I can't blame the players. No, I can blame the players. I can also blame Pochettino. I can also blame the owners. I can also blame the medical staff. I can also blame the catering staff. I can blame everybody. I can blame the fans. One time I sat here and I blamed the fans. I blamed everybody. I don't know what it is. At this point, God's just punishing us. That's all I have for today.
That's fair. I don't know. I'm a bit divided. I think it's obviously it's frustrating as a fan to like draw games that you should be winning.
Yeah.
And win games that it just comes out of nowhere, or draw games that you're like, oh right, like I didn't think we were gonna be in that game. I.e., City's, Arsenal's, the first game against Liverpool. Like there's been games where it's like, oh right, this is a good side, but then there's been games like the Sheffield and the Burnley where you're like, what is actually happening? And I think it's hard not to look past the manager in that type of situation, mainly because of the fact that he knew what he was walking into. So he knew he was walking into a side that is very young, that wasn't asked to challenge for the title, wasn't asked to challenge for top four, was asked to challenge for those European spots and do well in cup competitions. When you look at the results that we've had against the bottom six sides, I think we've dropped 15 points against the bottom six sides. Any manager that is a top half team manager, that's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? So there's players, and then there's players not being used properly or used to their full capacity.
But even if they use their full capacity, I still don't have faith that we'll go anywhere.
No, but you can't. But that's the thing. When you lack faith in that sense, it's because of the fact that you're seeing what you're seeing. So you can't see what I'm talking about. But when Lampard was manager at Chelsea, everyone was saying that the squad. What is the squad? They were saying, what is that?
The first time.
The first time. They were like, what is this squad? They were like, what has been assembled? This is that. Tuchel comes in, wins the Champions League, one of the best defenses in the world. Like, do you know what I mean? Aston Villa, Steven Gerrard was managing these teams.
I'm sorry.
Steven Gerrard was managing Aston Villa with all the players that they currently have. And people are saying, what is Aston Villa? What are they supposed to do? What are they going to achieve? Emery comes in, gets the best out of Watkins, gets the best out of Luiz, Ramsey, all of these players.
So are you blaming it on Pochettino?
Yeah.
I feel like at this stage, it is more on the manager to get the best out of the team and to make a system that works for everyone. You have to do that because we're seeing it at Wolves, we're seeing it at Brentford. Even West Ham, their fans are upset about how they play, but they have a style of play, whether they like it or not. No one can tell me what a Pochettino's Chelsea side looks like. And I think that's the biggest issue.
We have been saying this since September.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the biggest issue. So it's hard to blame the players. I think the players should be wanting more for themselves.
Yeah.
But I've seen some games where there's just no cohesiveness with anyone. Even Palmer, he's so great and he creates chances for so much. But that's on him wanting to be great.
Yeah.
When we're seeing Madueke have glimpses of greatness, that's on him wanting to be great. Same with Mudryk. We've seen it with Jackson. We've seen with Conor Gallagher. We're now seeing it with Carney, who's come back from injury, a few glimpses. but that's on the players wanting to just be good. It's not a system that's making them look good. Do you know what I mean?
So then, what would you do? Would you, as it stands today, would you get rid of Pochettino?
I wouldn't get rid of him now because there's no point. But I would reevaluate in the summer and see, like, ask him again, what is your plan for this team? Because last year wasn't good enough. We're looking to bring these players in. Can you use them? If you can't, it doesn't work with these players, then we're going to have to switch it up. Because he said after the Sheffield game that he thought the 2-2 was a fair result. Yeah. And then he said that this process, it could take 3 to 5 years.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I still don't understand, considering the last 20 years, what I've seen from Chelsea Football Club, how you guys were okay with Poch coming in as manager.
Who was okay? Do you know?
No, but it's,
A lot of people weren't.
Copes,
A lot of people
the
but-
first ever episode, did I not?
No,
Yeah.
but what I'm
Yeah,
saying
she
is,
did.
right, because even like with certain people that I would speak to who were Chelsea fans, they were like, actually, we're not mad at this Pochettino signing, and I was just sitting there going, yeah, but what has he actually done? All right, he got to one final with Spurs. As far as I'm concerned, the PSG time was a flop. I don't care what you want to tell me, it was a flop. I don't think he even won the league in his first year.
No, he didn't. Not in his first year.
So when I looked at his record, I was thinking, for what Chelsea normally want, or the expectations, the requirement, he was just quite far below the pecking order.
I fell to my knees the day we hired that man.
Okay.
I fell to my knees because I knew the mediocrity that we were about to accept. I
Damn.
knew it.
I
And
shouldn't
now
laugh, but
2-2 is a fair result.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, that's
these
crazy.
These are young kids.
That's crazy.
Oh, you know, this is a young team. He's saying he feels a connection with the fans now. Nah, the 4-2 was just brazy, bro.
You know
That's
what's
it. It
mad
was just a
hearing that?
classic.
Arsene Wenger is somewhere swinging in the air right now, hearing that whole "they're young kids 2-2." And that man, I remember years we had young team getting into top 4, and everyone used to say that's you should be getting more than that.
You should.
And now I'm hearing 9th place Chelsea, 2-2 is a
And do you
fair
know-
result
do you
because
know
they're a
what it
young
is?
team. Nah, that's just
We
not
can
good
be a young bloody team, yeah, but we're a young team with so much talent.
Untapped talent as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue. When you look at the squad, it's like it should be. The biggest frustration I have is that there's just no one. There's like 2 or 3 players that look good consistently, and that means that there's an issue with the system.
I don't even think 2 or 3 players. It's just Palmer.
No, Palmer, Gallagher's had a stint. Gusto's always looking good.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
Gusto,
Palmer and
Gusto,
Gusto.
that's true.
Gallagher, he's had his times where he's not consistent.
yeah, 100. But he had a period where he was consistent, where
At the
we was.
start of the season.
Yeah, but
Yes.
that was a good stint. There was a good stint where people were actually talking about Gallagher. Like,
Captain.
yeah, like he was
Media
actually
legend.
he was actually good. Like, I can't lie to you.
Like,
Compared to everyone
the
else.
thing is, like, I still stand by every single player in this Chelsea team is quality. Every single one right now, they are quality. It's just bringing out that quality within them.
Nah, there's some people that we're gonna have to
Who?
we're gonna have to reevaluate in the summer.
Who?
I didn't want to be that guy.
Who?
I didn't want to. I think our biggest issues stand in defense.
Okay, do you know what? I didn't realize. You're right,
Yeah,
actually.
I think we need reinforcements in defense.
More.
Yeah, but
Wait,
also,
were you
but
not arguing with me about Badia Shaw, or was it Prince?
it might have been no, but
I think it was Prince actually.
it might be. Yeah, I think it was Prince. But even Benoit, I think he's just going through the motions.
Yeah,
That's
'cause-
what happens with young players.
Because he looked good
Exactly. When he
in. I
first came,
remember
he was
looked
our side. We were saying
good.
we
Yeah.
got still because he looked quality on the
Yeah.
ball. But I always say that when a centre back is mainly known for their ball ability and not the sturdiness of what you need,
Not being
of a
centre back.
it's difficult to get behind them. And obviously Cole getting injured when he did, it just didn't help out. Like, I think our squad, if I were to name our starting lineup, injury-free
Everyone
squad,
injured. Everyone not injured.
I
Go
would
on.
say Reece James, right back,
Yep.
centre back Fofana, Colwell, left
Okay.
back Gusto,
Yeah,
midfield,
Left back, Gusto.
yeah, left back
100%.
Gusto,
Chill out here.
100%.
left back Gusto.
on the
Okay.
bench, not out of here, on the bench.
Okay.
In the midfield three, Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo. Then
I'm not
the
too sure.
front three,
That's okay.
the front three, Palmer, Jackson, and Nkunku, or Palmer, Nkunku, and a Mudryk, but depending.
Which you can't be in your starting 11 right
It's
now.
depending. But I'm saying fully fit.
Yeah.
If I was a manager and I was gonna try and get the best out of this side, and they were all injury free, that is a team that I would.
you think
I
that-
would
On
start
paper,
with.
that's the strongest team but I think there's still holes in that. I still don't know what Lavia can bring to the midfield.
Stability.
It's not
Yeah.
Gavra. It's not Gavra.
Yeah, nothing
Do you
is.
feel me?
But
Yeah.
he was that
Yeah.
at
If-
Southampton,
yeah, I was
and
gonna
what
say,
we've
yeah,
seen,
we
we've
saw it at
seen,
Southampton.
we've
But
seen his
that's the problem.
attributes.
That's the thing. Like, you've seen it at one team. I can't say that it's gonna translate to this team. If I'm doing it based off of like the glimpses I've seen from each player this season, I would go obviously Reece James right back every day, all day. The two centre backs, Fofana's not in there for me,
That's fine.
right?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I'm leaving Thiago Silva in there. I
Get
am.
over it, man.
I-
How old is he now?
Just get
40.
over it.
38.
He can't
39.
play in a
Yeah.
back four. You need to genuinely let it
Yeah,
go.
he can't.
Okay.
He can't play in a back four.
That's your opinion.
No, it's a reality.
Getting
Because
cooked.
people will still say that he is the problem. He's the issue.
It's not about him
we're
being the
still
problem.
conceding.
He can't play in a back
He's
four
pulling
anymore.
hammies, slide tackling, trying to catch people now. He's there. He can't.
Like he
can't
was
have
big.
him.
He's been quality for Chelsea, but
Yeah,
he
but-
can't. He's not a part of the future still.
I'll put him in. Look, okay, in the future, no. I'm talking about right now. With everybody being fully fit. I'm putting Thiago
Okay.
Silva in there. I'm putting him in there.
I mean, if you
I'll
want to
put
do
him
that as an
alongside
Arsenal
Levi
fan, I'm happy with that.
Colwill. I'll put him next to Levi Colwill. Gusto as left back. My midfield, I'm leaving it as Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher. I'm leaving that because Gallagher, even though he's had his stints where he's been poor, when the team is working and ticking, he's working hard. And then you got Palmer, Nkunku, Jackson,
Okay.
That's interesting.
or Palmer, Nkunku, Sterling.
Okay. Yeah.
I think with the Gallagher and Silva, there's just not enough at the back. With the what we suffer with is the ability to recover.
But then, okay,
We
who-
don't have
who you
people that
gonna
can
put
recover
at,
well.
Who are you gonna put at the back? Because we can't use Fofana.
Why?
He hasn't played this season.
No, but we said fully fit.
No, but you're just saying, yeah, fully fit team. Who's just starting 11?
Yeah,
And
but
not
I'm
this
doing it off
season
of
as well. This season's
glimpses
over.
Of what I've seen this season.
This season's over. I think Fofana's our best centre back.
When he's
Your
fit.
best.
When he's fit, he's our
He's-
best centre
he's
back.
played like 5 games.
I know,
for
and that's
Chelsea.
unfortunate. It's
You
unfortunate.
think he's your best?
Yeah,
Genuinely,
I think he is.
I
I'm
do.
not convinced.
I think Colwell
Because
or
he's played 5
Fofana.
games.
I think
Yeah,
Fofana
probably.
or Colwell. But from what I've seen, and that might be damning on either him
It's on
or the
him.
players that are just not up to that level.
It's got to be the players because
That's what
Fofana-
I'm saying, though. That's
Fofana
what I'm
in
saying.
general has not played a lot of football.
He,
In a-
period.
Yeah, just in general.
Nah,
so to put him
since
as-
he's come Chelsea. At Leicester, he had one year where he struggled, but
He had
apart
one year
from
where
that,
he was
yeah,
injured.
he broke his,
Yeah.
he broke his
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But before that, he was one of the best centre backs.
No, he
in the
was,
league,
but it
bro.
was like what 1 year that, and then 1 year
He got
came
injured
to
at
the
He's
Chelsea.
played 1 year of consistent
No, but
football
Leicester
in the
means when
Premier
he broke
League.
his leg.
Yeah, and then he came
to
Chelsea,
you guys,
and then he
he's
done
been
Yeah.
injured
the
ever
madness.
since.
Yeah,
He's
but
played
even when he
1
first
year.
came, he played a few games for us.
But he played 1 year of consistent football. Just 1 year.
A lot of these men have. This
That's-
is Palmer's
that's the
first
problem.
season. That's what I'm saying.
But
That
I-
before Enzo came to our side, he only played
Mm.
6 months.
But the
Like
thing is,
that's what we're dealing with.
Also,
that's
would
so
We're dealing
bad.
with
And Mudryk came from Ukraine.
Playing 6 months.
I'm gonna always thank you guys for doing that, by the way, because boy,
But the thing is, I think Mudryk would have banged at Arsenal.
maybe.
Under
but I just think,
Arteta's wing, he
but I
would have
just think
banged.
right now, if we had got Mudryk, would we have maybe paid the 100 M's for
He
Rice?
did.
Would we have gotten Havertz? I just think it's worked out in our best interest. You guys got him, and then we got
Trossard cost
Trossard.
the same as well, didn't they?
Pardon?
No,
Didn't
no, no,
they?
no, no,
Pardon?
no.
Wasn't it
Mudryk
like-
cost like 65.
Yeah,
How much did Trossard
Trossard cost like
30.
30.
30.
Oh shit, sorry, I thought
Yeah.
he cost
Yeah,
about
no,
60.
no.
So do you think that if Chelsea get European football, that Poch deserves another year?
No,
Do you think he does, coach? From what you've seen from Chelsea this season,
I don't think.
It's
Chelsea
you know what it
should
is?
get
It's just
European
who's out there.
football.
That's my only thing. It's who's out there to.
should
replace him.
that ever really be a reason to keep a manager there?
It should never be a reason.
It does if you don't think it's going to improve the squad. So if you think there's no one out there that can do better than him, then what's the point of getting rid of him? You know what I mean?
The
Mm.
maddest thing is,
So-
this is so brazy, and I don't think Chelsea have that pulling power no more. But there are times where clubs will just approach a manager, and a manager can just drop it and come to the club.
No, I think you guys still got that.
And I don't think we do.
I think you still got that.
We don't.
Listen, money
Don't,
talks.
We
let's
we
not.
don't.
We're,
And we don't
It's
even
got
have the
that.
P's no more. Because if we let go of Pochettino, that's too much money we've let go with 2 managers in 2 years.
but he only had 3 years, 3-year contract.
It's
so
still a lot of money,
it
considering
won't be
that
that much
we're
though.
still
It won't.
paying off Potter as well. a lot
Nah,
of
he
money.
didn't. He didn't. His payoff was reduced still. heavily. It was like it was supposed to be a mad thing,
Yeah,
and then
remember.
they reduced it because they just wanted to settle.
Mm.
So I don't think I think if it was mid-season, it would have been worse if we had sacked him mid-season and tried to replace him. But I think in the summer, having 2 years left on his contract, I don't think it would be that extreme. But I don't. That's the thing. I wanted it to work with Poch, and I still want it to a certain extent. But
Same.
there's no signs of
Progression.
Yeah.
progression, improvement in individual performances, like, and the team. You just can't have a week where you draw with two of the worst teams in the league. You just can't.
No.
Burnley and Sheffield.
You got,
Burnley and
listen,
Sheffield.
At least you got that Man United one in the midst of that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Burnley and Sheffield.
I hear it. Listen, I'm with you. I hear it.
I could not believe.
Again, I didn't realize Poch had said they were young kids and 2-2 was.
But the
I
thing
didn't. I didn't hear all of that.
He
If I had heard all of
after
that,
every,
I can't
like,
believe
I
it.
stopped listening to Poch's presses because after, even if it's a loss, it's a draw, he praises and he says, yeah, we're a young team. It's not meant to happen in 1 year. We've got to build with this team. It's loser talk.
We've all had young teams. Arsenal's a
is
young team. Like
loser
there's young
talk.
teams out there, so it's like that's just.
Bring
I
back.
I think,
Thomas Tuchel.
and I'm
No
not opposed.
way.
I'm not opposed to that. But
You
I
take
think,
Tuchel back?
I think managers. I think
150%.
managers need to be feared. You know.
No way.
100%.
I think what I've deeped
No way.
from managers in general.
100%. I'll take Thomas Tuchel back.
Yeah,
You take him back as well?
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
100%.
I wouldn't be
Really?
opposed to
After
that.
what you've seen at Bayern?
100%.
I wouldn't be opposed. I would. I'm not opposed to things like that because sometimes the manager and the team just doesn't make sense. Like
Exactly.
Nagelsmann went Bayern and they sacked him, bro. Like
Yeah.
we've seen managers go to clubs and they sack him. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily as bad.
Look,
And
they sacked him from PSG.
Everyone
Nah,
got
and then
sacked.
he-
Everyone got sacked at
and then he
PSG.
came
though.
Chelsea.
Ancelotti,
Yeah.
And,
Emery.
like,
Yeah,
I
they
just,
all
I
got
just
sacked.
feel
If
like,
you didn't win them the
yeah,
Champions League, they just got rid of you at PSG.
I just feel like every team has their expectations. Every team
Mm.
has their relationships with managers. Chelsea, as a collective, right? Not just the boys that are playing. The entire community needs to feel as one again. Even when we played Man United, yeah, until like the final like 20-25 minutes, it was still hella silent.
Mm.
You know, like we were sitting next to the Man United fans, so luckily, like, we were just giving it back to him.
Yeah.
But Man United fans were the only fans you could hear in the stadium. We're not singing no more. We're not chanting no more. None of it. And you can see it in the players' faces. Like, they look a little bit dejected because obviously
Yeah.
they're looking around for our support and we're not giving it to them. Thomas Tuchel coming back to Chelsea brings back that kind of togetherness, that kind of family feel within the fan base. And you need that community to be behind the manager so they can get behind the players. The players can play well for the manager. And like you said, the players need a manager that they can fear.
Yeah.
No one really, like, no offense to Pochettino, great guy. Who's fearing him like that?
Like,
Do you
and
get what I'm saying?
I just think it's just the type of energy that you show as a manager. Like Arteta, it's very obvious the type of manager he is.
Yeah.
Came in, benched
Bro.
Aubameyang, stripped him of captaincy, benched Ozil, Lacazette, all of this. Pep, the same thing at City. Klopp,
And
same
do you know
thing at
what's crazy?
Liverpool.
I used
See-
to think Arteta was crazy for doing that. But then
A
in
lot of people did,
hindsight,
yeah.
I'm like, you came in, stamped your authority,
And it
got the
worked.
respect, and it worked.
So you want a more stern manager to come in place. You think Poch
Yeah.
is a bit too.
He's
bit
way
light.
too cuddly. Like,
Okay.
come on, bro. Like, the
No, I'm
fact
not mad
that,
at
we
But that's
went
the thing.
3-2 down.
We thought that was the manager that we needed
Mm.
at the time because of the amount of young
Who's
players.
we?
No, a lot of Chelsea. Everyone was saying that was the
Yes.
narrative. Chelsea
They-
Chelsea have a young team.
Yeah.
They need a manager that can. Jose spoke about the type of managers that are in modern day and the type of players and the fact that if you don't have. The fact that he will struggle
Yeah.
or a lot of them will struggle in back in the day because they need an arm around them. This is that.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
So him coming to Chelsea at the time that he did, it made sense to a certain extent because of what he done at Southampton, what he done at Spurs, but it just didn't work at Chelsea because I think that there was a sense of fear that just followed him throughout the whole season, and then it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
You're always one result away from a calamity or uproar because you've not got enough wins on the trot. Like Brighton had, I think, a month and a bit where they didn't win a game. They were still in the top 8 because of how they started the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chelsea never had that luxury, so it's
I
on them.
still
Man.
think, that there's obviously a Jose Mourinho can't come to this club. There's a difference between a Jose and a Tuchel. Tuchel is still feared in a sense that you don't want to get on his wrong side. Like, if he's telling you to do X, Y, and Z and you're not doing it and you're going to get
Just
a
won't play
bulletin,
you.
he won't play you and you know he's not going to play you. However, with Pochettino, you get that kind of like soft feeling. Like when you're 2-0 up and you go 3-2 down, and you're still sitting down on that bench.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I need a manager that's gonna be shouting at the top of their lungs. What the fuck was that? Like how Klopp was doing when Man United when Kobe
Yeah, he
Mainoo
was
scored.
vexed. He was vexed.
Vexed.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola vexed when Crystal Palace scored. Like, come
Yeah,
on, you need
yeah.
that kind of manager. Every other team has that kind of. David Moyes is like that. Every other team has that manager. Emery was fuming. We don't have that manager. We have a manager that says it's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm sure he's a bit. I'm sure he's like
And-
that, but maybe not in the public eye.
Yeah,
nah,
that's true,
man.
yeah.
No, I
I'm
don't
interested.
see it.
I'm interested to know what everyone else thinks. So let us know on socials
Yes.
and all of this stuff. It always turns into a Chelsea therapy session because
Yeah,
we're just
do you know what?
going.
Yeah,
We're going
fuck it,
through
man.
it.
I'm not even trying to get
But yeah, this is another episode of Keep It 90. We've got 6 weeks left of the season. We're going to be doing awards. We're going to be doing exercise, all of that stuff. So let us know what you want us to talk about. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.